Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Drian Francisco. I've never done this on my phone, so forgive and excuse any glitches or me not being very well versed in this sort of thing. But I just don't have the time to edit videos, and I'm looking for the easiest, most efficient way of doing this. Anyway, first round. Forget about the guy with the very shiny green gloves, right? Clearly a technique to get you to pay attention to him, right? But try to resist the temptation and look at what the other guy is doing, at least as well. Let's go. See how he's checking everything? Anytime Guillermo Rigondeaux wants to put that jab out there, he's touching it, right? He's checking it. Able to evade punches. Every single time Guillermo wants to probe, he's checking it, right? He's taking it away from him. Why? Well, you saw why, right? That's why, right? Nice jab by Drian Francisco. Effectively outboxing Guillermo Rigondeaux. Yeah, I know it's early, the fight just started, but that is what's happening, right? Boom! Nice little right hand on the inside. Did you see that? Bam. Look at it again. I know you guys can't hear the sound. That's an Android limitation, I suppose. But you could go back and watch this, obviously. Drian Francisco lands a nice right hand right there. Boom! Right on the eye, right? But what is he doing first? He's checking that jab from Guillermo Rigondeaux. Outboxing the master technician. You see, the thing with Guillermo Rigondeaux is that he's not a great boxer, i.e. elite puncher. He's a very good pugilist and a very good counterpuncher, but boxing is not his forte, right? Do you see how easily this guy is able to outbox him so far anyway, right? Checking, swatting that down, checking everything, using both hands to, you see that? Blocking the, maybe you got through a little bit there, but Drian is right on top of it, right? Boom, and lands his own to the body and checks the counter. Okay. So Guillermo Rigondeaux misses that punch right there. Drian backs away from it, lands a jab to Guillermo Rigondeaux's chest, but Rigondeaux comes back with a nice looping left hand. Sorry if my dog is snorting. It is what it is. But up until this point, Drian Francisco was winning the round, right? And then he got cracked with the best punch of the round so far. But he was winning the round up until that point, right? Outboxing Guillermo Rigondeaux. Still undeterred, still checking everything, right? Trying to get his gloves or hands on everything that Rigondeaux prods with. Boom. Hard body shot by Drian Francisco. Let's see what he did right there. Steps to his left as he throws this punch, right? Why? Well, to get away from the left hand. Simple. Effective. Scores. Still outboxing Guillermo Rigondeaux. Checking everything, right? Checking, checking. Blocks everything. Guillermo's tools, or Guillermo cannot find his range, right? His punches aren't even close to the target, except for that one that he landed. When Drian Francisco, obviously he's looking to close the distance here and there, and when he does that, what does he do? He puts his hands up. Simple, basic shit, right? But he puts his hands up, and Guillermo Rigondeaux cannot hit him. If he is, they're partial blows. They're not very hard. Drian Francisco is doing a good job of defending. When he's going straight in, right? He's not going to his left, but just trying to barge right in. He puts his hands up. When he's going to his left, that may not always be the case. But he's unable to do anything on the inside as Guillermo steps back out to reestablish distance. Now Francisco wants to get aggressive, right? He is aggressive. Lands 2 partial blows. Right? Goes to the left. Hits Guillermo Rigondeaux with that grazing punch. Guillermo reacts to it, but he gets touched with it. And then he gets him right there, right? Hits him right on the head. Drian Francisco has a boxing brain, as you can clearly tell already. If you think that Guillermo Rigondeaux is awesome, amazing, and excellent technician, beautiful boxing skill, all that other stuff, if this guy is able to outbox him so far, then he's got to have a boxing brain of his own, no? I think that's only fair. What Drian Francisco lacks that Guillermo Rigondeaux has in spades is sharp tools. Good punch technique and athleticism. That's what he doesn't have. But as far as a boxing brain goes, well, he's outboxing the master here, isn't he? Of course. And he's mixing it up on him. He's leading with either hand, right? Looks like he misses that one, but he's barging right in, but playing defense, right? Which means that Guillermo cannot hit him cleanly, right? And he checked that jab from Guillermo. Head movement, herky-jerky, right? Side to side, in and out, bam, lands a jab. Not sure where that landed, but it was there. Guillermo lands a jab, and it looked like he was able to get his jab through, and then the left hand sounded like it landed on the body. Yeah. Drian wasn't able to check that, and he got hit. Right? He barged in kind of straight in here, but then he stepped to the left. And look what happened. Guillermo Rigondeaux clubs with his own left hand, right? Why is that? Let's look at it again. I don't know if you're able to catch it, but maybe this time I'll be able to catch it. What Rigondeaux does with that left hand, as you can kind of see there, when he wants to land it with power, be the puncher that he is, he cocks it back, right? He brings his left shoulder back, and then he whips it forward. He has excellent punch technique with the left hand. But because it takes a significant amount of time and it's a telegraphed shot, right? He whips it back and then he whips it forward. He has to hit you with it at the end of that punch in order to maximize the impact, right? His punching power. But if you step in and, you know, he telegraphs the punch, so you could pick a moment and it gives you some time to step in because he does pull it back, you effectively smother it, right? And if you're stepping in, straight in, which I wouldn't recommend it necessarily, but if you step straight in, which is what he did right there, you smother the power of the shot. But if you go to your left, which he kind of started doing late, because Guillermo Rigondeaux never throws the left hand straight, extremely straight down the pipe, there's always at least a slight curve to it. You're going to be able to not only take the power off that punch by smothering it, but also because you're going to be stepping away from the trajectory of the punch, and because Guillermo Rigondeaux does not turn it over very well, he's going to slap and club to your midsection or head, right? If you just step in, and especially in and to the left, right? Not a very good blow there. He got smothered and ended up slapping. Looks like he took a jab to the chest, counter with something. crowd is booing already. Same thing again here, right? Except this time Francisco, instead of going straight in the beginning, he just went to the left right away, right? And what happened? Even though he didn't land his own punches, he smothered Guillermo Rigondeaux's left hand. And that punch not only didn't hit him at the end of the punch, it also ended up being a slapping, clubbing, not at all very effective punch, right? So just step in and to the left, and you're going to take away his left hand. And he gets headbutted by Guillermo, already showing signs of frustration. So Drian Francisco effectively outboxed Guillermo Rigondeaux in this round. He dictated to him and landed more punches and had some sharp shots. But if you gave Guillermo Rigondeaux this round, it's because of that one big punch that he landed, right? Which is, I believe they're going to replay it now. Let's check it out. Yeah, because of this one punch. He misses that, takes a jab on the chest, nothing to write home about, and lands that nice clean punch right there, the best punch of the round. I think it's fair to give him this round based on that one punch, but I think it's completely unfair to say that he schooled Drian Francisco, because then you're not giving credit to the other pugilist in there who's actually, so far, is exhibiting better boxing skill, technical boxing skill, and is effectively outboxing Guillermo Rigondeaux. And because Guillermo Rigondeaux is a puncher, he capitalized on the so-called puncher's chance in this round, right? It was his punching power that gave him that round, a round in which he was outboxed. Drian Francisco's left hand, just like Guillermo's right hand, it is a very similar punch, right? Clubbing, not very effective, doesn't have good technique. It's comparable to Rigondeaux's right hand, right? And as far as probing and prodding and you know, measuring your opponent, Drian Francisco's lead hand so far is better, isn't it? Boom. Lands a little right hand to the body. Nothing great, you know, very, very light punch. But he also avoids the counter punch, right? He's barging straight in and covering himself up to avoid the counter punch. Guillermo Rigondeaux cannot catch him, at least not yet, on the way in. Drian Francisco is barging right in, right? He doesn't have the fastest feet in the world. He's not the most athletic fighter. He's barging right in, getting off his own offense. And because he's also defensively responsible, Guillermo Rigondeaux isn't good enough, at least at this point in time, to catch him on the way in, right? And counter effectively. Awkward action right there as they tie up a little bit. See, Francisco is constantly checking that little prodding jab by Rigondeaux, right? Always making sure to get his hand on it, right? Why? So he could get his own offense going, right? He's taking that away from Rigondeaux. He's trying to always be on top of it, right? See how he's on, kind of gets grazed a little bit with that jab or hook from Rigondeaux. Misses his own shot, and looks like he takes left hand to the body. But again, that punch is smothered, so doesn't have great power on it at all, as it doesn't seem to have any effect on Drian Francisco, who's right back to what he was doing a second ago, right? And he lands his own jab to the body right there. Takes Guillermo Rigondeaux's probe away from him and jabs to the body, right? Tries to jump in with the swing and misses or gets it blocked. It walks straight in, right? Walks straight in, covering himself up. Guillermo ducks under, and they tie up, some awkward action there. And then lands a right hand on the inside, right? Inside fighting. Guillermo Rigondeaux doesn't fight very well on the inside. He's not an accomplished inside fighter. Moving to the left, staying away from that power, right? That's Guillermo Rigondeaux's only real threat from the outside is that power left hand, right? Drian lands this leaping, lunging right hand. Not a very strong punch, but he lands it. Guillermo Rigondeaux counters with something to the body, and they clash heads. Looks like Guillermo's punch was smothered, slapping, and landed on the forearm, maybe the elbow. He's taking Rigondeaux's... First, he's taking his jab away from him, and he's effectively taking the left hand, except for that one time when he got hit with it, right? A low blow there by Drian Francisco, but he's showing you that he's trying to do different things, right? He gets warned by Kenny Bayless for that blatant low blow. Right? Checking. Oh, it's an obvious part of his game plan to take away Rigondeaux's probe and react off that probe, right? Take it away, smack it down, and boom! Land a grazing right hand. Right? Guillermo Rigondeaux ties up and gets hit to the body and hits on the break. Checking everything, right? So he could work his own offense. Didn't get anything going there, but really basically the only one trying. Mixing it up, trying to go to the body. Boom! Lands a right hand on his jaw. Not a powerful punch, but he clearly lands it. Right there. Boom. Rigondeaux tries to answer, but Francisco, when he comes straight in, after he gets his punches off, plays defense, and he blocks the counter, right? He's outboxing. He's clearly outboxing Guillermo Rigondeaux. He's dictating to him. He's setting the pace of the fight. And he's taking Guillermo Rigondeaux's best tools away from him, right? Pressuring. Cutting off the ring on him. Bam, cuts it off again right there. Guillermo gets a body punch, but gets warned. It's a low blow. See, Francisco is protecting his midsection very well. So Guillermo, the only opening he has is low. He gets warned by Kenny Bayless. Looked like he landed a jab right there, but took one right back, right? I'm not even sure he landed that jab. Yeah, he did. But takes one right back. Boom. Right? He's open. Is that the greatest defensive fighter of all time? Is he? One of them? Whatever the myth is. Right? Drian Francisco is dominating the action. He's dictating to Rigondeaux. He's landing more punches. He's leading and countering him, right? Misses there, but Rigo doesn't answer with anything. Now, Drian Francisco missed that punch, right? And he paid the price. It was a nice punch by Rigondeaux. But as far as punch count, Francisco leads the way, right? It looks like he took a pretty hard body shot there. Drian Francisco did, yeah, as he was jumping in. But, you know, not much of an effect, right? He's not deterred because he's smothering those punches, and Rigo isn't landing as well as he would like to. It looks like Rigondeaux just took a jab right there. Had to reset, right? Boom. Rigondeaux tried to probe with the left now, right? And got countered. Boom. Right on the mouth with the jab. And then he hits Drian Francisco's forearm, right? Cannot really land much, Guillermo. He's getting outboxed. Now, once again, Drian Francisco dictated, pushed the pace, and outboxed Rigondeaux. But Rigondeaux had those two pretty clean best shots of the round. So if you're going to give the round to Rigondeaux, and I think it's very much debatable, you're giving it to him because his punches were better, right? Puncher's chance. You're giving him the benefit of the doubt, and you believe in the puncher here, right? This is the proverbial puncher's chance. What's all that noise? Sorry. Anyway, We got round 3 coming up now. Are they gonna... Did they replay Rigondeaux's nice punch? Let me see. Are they too busy showing Holyfield? Yeah, I don't think they replayed it. That's okay. Here we go. Round 3. Rigondeaux undeterred. Probes. Looks like Drian kind of fell asleep a little bit there. And got grazed. Pretty decent punch right there. By that swinging left hand. Right. Drian Francisco steps in, right? Look at Rigondeaux's left hand, right? See how he cocked it back and missed? He has good hand speed, but because he has to cock these punches back, he's telegraphing them, right? It's predictable. And if you notice it, it always comes off that prodding jab, right? Drian Francisco steps in, lands a hard right hand to the body and under Rigondeaux's armpit and avoids the looping left hand because Guillermo Rigondeaux doesn't throw his left hand straight. And that's a function of his excellent punch technique. Don't get me wrong, whipping those shoulders around. It's a function of him being broad-shouldered, a little bit muscle-bound. And it's a function of, well, just how he throws the punch. It's his punch technique. It's never straight. So if you step inside of it at the right time, you're not going to be getting caught with it. And if you do get caught with it, it's not likely to be very powerful, right? And because he's opening up, you can hit him to the body, you can hit him to the head. And Drian Francisco, who's not very fast or athletic, is able to time it, step in with a hard body shot, right? And then Rigondeaux pulls him down. Drian Francisco gets warned for keeping his head down, rightfully so. Pick your head up, right? Rigondeaux tries to establish that jab, but it's looking less and less. He's looking less and less sure of himself, right? He's not really putting it out there as much. Why? Because Drian Francisco takes it away and he counters, just like he countered with that jab right there, right? Look. Boom. Lands a jab and then steps to the left and avoids the counter. This was a perfect example of how Rigondeaux whips that punch around, right? Pulls it back. He pulls it back right there after he got hit. And then because he has to whip it around, if you're going to be stepping in and to the left especially, he's not going to hit you with it just as here. He slaps and looks like he's still taking that left hand on the jaw, chest area right there. And Drian Francisco is outpointing him, right? Outboxing him. Rigondeaux looks to land a nice body punch right there. The arms are up or by the midsection. They're in the way. Looks like it's blocked. Maybe he gets through a little bit. But, you know, he didn't break Francisco down. He was going to the midsection a lot, but he didn't break him down. These punches don't seem to be affecting him. So that's a sign that he's not landing very cleanly, if at all, right? Some awkward action there. Looks like maybe Rigondeaux lands another one of those body shots. Hard, we can't see it, right? But maybe he gets through. But again, those punches are getting smothered. They're getting blocked. Not always, but they're always getting smothered. And they don't seem to have that full effect, right? Guillermo Rigondeaux keeps doing it. Because he's found some success with that counter left hand to the body, so he just keeps doing it, right? He's very predictable. He's very repetitive. He's very one-dimensional in many instances. And if he finds something that works, he just keeps doing the same thing over and over and over. The same way he knocked out Rico Ramos, right? With those body shots. The same technique. That's how he knocked him out. Somehow, he's unable to beat Drian Francisco, right? because Rico Ramos, contrary to the propaganda out there, was not a good fighter. Drian Francisco is a much better fighter, as you can see. Okay. Do you see how wildly how Rigondeaux swings and misses? I mean, by a mile, right? Oh my goodness. Right? He's biting the feints. Drian Francisco took away. He's winning the battle of the jab, right? The prodding jab, and he's taking Guillermo Rigondeaux out of his game. What is that prodding jab for Rigondeaux? What is it? It's a scope, right? He wants to get it somewhere near your face. He uses it to measure the distance, and then it's like a bow and arrow, right? He uses it as a scope to detonate his bombs, right? So what Drian Francisco has been able to do so far is take the scope of Guillermo Rigondeaux's rifle, and that's what happens to the sniper when he doesn't have his scope, right? He misses wildly. He gets cracked by kind of a grazing, not really effective left hand from Drian Francisco right there, and low blows him as he gets his head pulled down and gets warned by Kenny Bayless, who's doing a pretty good job so far, actually. Again, a little left hand body shot by Drian Francisco, right, as he's stepping to the left, away from the power hand. Boom. Little body shot there. And then tries to follow it up, but Guillermo gets out of there. Lands a jab. Not terribly clean, but it makes contact. Boom, right there, right? Makes Guillermo hold. Duck. Now, he should be warning Guillermo Rigondeaux for ducking under the belt too, right? Wouldn't that be fair? Kenny Bayless, obviously. So he took the scope off his rifle. Guillermo Rigondeaux, you know, those two nice punches that he landed in the first and the second round, they're not happening so far in the third, right? That stuff's not happening. And he just gets clubbed right there and rocked back, right? And starts holding to stop the action. He looks less and less sure of himself. There's not much offense from Rigondeaux. Drian Francisco is shutting him down. There he adjusted Rigondeaux, right? He shortened up that counter left hand. It's not quite as wide anymore, as telegraphed, as he doesn't wind it up as much, which means it's not going to be as powerful. But he gets it blocked, right? He still is, Drian Francisco is still able to smother it and block it, right? As well as that other follow-up left hand from Rigondeaux. Looks like maybe that punch was a little bit low. But Drian Francisco, what is he doing? He's leading and he's countering. I don't know if that landed. Doesn't matter. He's not getting hit either, right? He's aggressive. He just cut the ring off. Looks like he landed another partial jab. Yep. And Guillermo Rigondeaux cannot touch him, right? Drian Francisco has measured his distance. He's won the battle of the jab. He's measured his distance. And Guillermo Rigondeaux still cannot find his, right? That scope is still missing. Look how wildly he misses. Francisco is giving him a lot of head movement. He's changing up his guard. He's mixing up his attack. He's going up low, left hand, right hand, you know, to the left, straight in. He's outboxing him, clearly outboxing him, right? Guillermo Rigondeaux is running out of ideas because the few tools that he has, they're not that hard to take away from him, which is what Drian has done. And Guillermo is basically out of ideas, right? What does he have? Counter left hand. That's all he has, right? He has to touch you with the jab a little bit or measure you with the jab and land the counter left hand. That's his whole... That's 95% of what Guillermo Rigondeaux does, right? He gets that shot blocked because every time Drian Francisco comes straight in, he's got his hands up, right? So he blocks that. Doesn't land his own punch, but he's dangerous, right? Now imagine someone with much sharper tools, faster feet, shorter punches, just much better doing the same thing, right? Now you see Rigondeaux adjusting a little bit and shortening up that left hand, which again makes it less powerful, but he's able to land it like that. So he is adjusting, but all of a sudden, he's not a puncher anymore. Drian Francisco took away his scope, took away his left hand, basically, in the third round already, and now he took away Guillermo Rigondeaux's base style, counter-punching puncher. He turned him into just a counter-puncher who no longer loads up on his shots, right? He's fighting him. He's leading and counter, lead, counter, right? Doesn't land there and gets caught with the jab, but he's on him, and he blocks everything, right? Look at that. Smothers, kind of gets through a little bit, but nothing really, right? Body shot and a left hand on the inside as Guillermo Rigondeaux wants to hold, and then works the body a little bit and hits behind the head. Bayless is doing a pretty good job overall, I have to say. Okay, so we had first two rounds where Drian Francisco dominated the action, dictated, and outboxed Guillermo Rigondeaux. But Guillermo Rigondeaux and his puncher's chance won those two rounds, arguably. One of them for sure. Second one, it's debatable, right? Especially the second one. So what you see is momentum shifting in the favor of Drian Francisco, who not only took away Guillermo Rigondeaux's tool, he also made him fight in a style that's not his best style, right? He took away him being a puncher, meaning that if Guillermo Rigondeaux is winning these rounds, even though he's getting outboxed and he's being dictated to, he's winning them because he's still a puncher, and the few punches that he does land are that much better than Drian Francisco's, who isn't very sharp or a very big puncher himself. Once Drian Francisco took that away in the third round, first taking away his scope, then taking away the left hand, and then turning Guillermo Rigondeaux into not a puncher anymore, still taking the left hand, but just not as powerful all of a sudden, you almost have to give him this round, right? I think it would be extremely unfair not to. That's the first part. We're going to keep breaking this fight down because it's a fight that Guillermo Rigondeaux fanboys would love to forget, and all that they've been saying is how he schooled this guy, and that's complete and utter nonsense, as you'll see.